these issues are very difficult to talk about, and however, we're having the conversation. Thank you. Wow. How do you keep going? You personally, like, how do you keep going through this? There's no complacency in any of this, and you're doing this all day long. So, how do you personally get through a day?
Every evening, I have something that's called a spaz hour. I'm high functioning autistic. I call it a spaz hour. So usually around 8, 9 o'clock, I set aside an hour. I do whatever I need to do. If I need to cry about the things that I've heard that day, I cry. If I need to scream into a pillow, I do that. I will admit I have made a blanket fort and stayed there for 30 minutes and just meditated on the quiet, whatever I need to do as a neurodivergent person for that hour. For exercise, I practice martial arts. Tai Chi, Qigong are very profound exercises to get me centered and balanced. I also do sword fighting with katanas. When I pick up my practice katana, I envision the anxiety and the depression and the anger, and it's a shadow in front of me, and I fight it. I fight it until those things are conquerable, that depression is not going to get me, the anxiety is not going to get me. Meditation is the cornerstone of my routine, which enables me to have the energy to do the martial arts, to have the energy to put a spaz hour in place on my schedule that I adhere to. I actually studied with the Nechang Foundation and Monastery for a number of years. They have a branch in New York City, and I trained in Heart Sutra and Diamond Cutter Sutras. Negative things do not get to rent space there for free. They get evicted. And through that meditation training, which I've also studied with a number of really profound teachers around the world, including His Holiness the Dalai Lama, I studied a week of classes with him in 2010 on meditation in the Western mind. When I sit down and I think about those lessons, how Westerners can sometimes get meditation wrong, that thinking that nothingness is all that existence is, that belief is driving us into the ground, and is one that I refuse to adhere to. I am an instrument of the light, and I fight the darkness with my martial arts. I express my trauma and my hurts and my laughter through my artwork. I write poetry. I stay creative. And pretty much I just find that kind of balance, you know. And there's one other tool that I'll say as well. I actually turn my phone off at night. It goes off at 10 o'clock. It goes off, and people will contact me and they'll say, Magdalene, I tried to do this. I'm working with people in 8 different time zones. My phone goes off at all hours. I would get no sleep. You have to, at some point, remember we did have a time in humanity when things turned off. You do not have to look at your phone at 2 a.m. It can be off. That's one of the biggest things that I do. And the last thing that I do to cope with things is I start off my day with good news. I follow the Good News Network out of the UK, and in the morning I have my coffee and I start off with a good news story about something to start my day. And I tell you, that makes a difference rather than getting up and seeing a headline about yet another mass shooting, yet another war skirmish, or any of that. I got up in the morning and I found out that someone was nice to their neighbor, or there's been a new technological advance that will help cancer patients, or some other great news that I immerse myself in for 45 minutes before I start my day. How you start your day matters. So those are some of the tools that I use for myself. Um, Yoga's in there too, but starting at 8 o'clock with that spaz hour, that's where all those self-care tools go. And I use all of them for that hour or two to keep myself balanced. And that's how I go forward. And I think all of us should have a routine like that. Self-care is mandatory.
Absolutely. What is next for the 34 Gallery? What are you excited about with your next initiative?
One of our UNV online personnel staff, Adamu Ibrahim, he was featured across all the United Nations volunteer platforms on their blog for his work with disability inclusion. So this is just showing that you can be someone from any walk of life and be recognized at a very high level for the work that you do with us. That's one thing. And then after that, the United Nations Volunteer Program has given us the green light to expand our UNV staff as long as we need it. They believe in our initiative because of the feedback that they've gotten, because of hardworking professionals dedicating their time to our cause, because of the global artists who have decided to make mental health a priority. We are going to expand as much as possible to continue providing free publicity to artists. I also want to stress that the 34 Gallery does not receive any payment for promoting the artists. We feature the artists. If we have inquiries, they are referred directly to the artist for sales. We don't handle sales transactions. Our work is mental health advocacy as a mental health gallery. We are more interested in artists being able to speak for themselves and make their own livelihood without us as a gallery getting a cut of any of that. That's really, I'm an artist myself. That was one of those things with the virtual initiative that we really don't have to deal with our artists. We don't have to say, hi, you have to pay a hanging fee. Hi, you have to pay gallery dues. No, you just have to show up, participate in an open call, tell us what your story is. We will feature you. We will refer people to your work. We will provide a job reference for you. As soon as you're chosen as a 34 gallery artist, you are part of an actual gallery. We will try to promote you to the best of our ability. So with all of this enormous support that we're having, besides hug.art and art jobs, we're looking for additional ways to expand the initiative because the arts also includes acting. It also includes writing. We are trying to create separate initiatives as well within the 34 Gallery to reach out to writers, actors, those involved with theater, stage creation, all of these different aspects of the industry that young people don't know about, because this is also career development as well. Every single creative professional with the 34 Gallery, they're teaching the youth how to be the next generation of creatives. You know, this is so important because when you look at a movie or you look at a production, you see all of these jobs listed there and no one knows exactly what those are. We want to be a place through our interludes publication where each one of those professionals can write an article about what they think about mental health and what they do as their passion. And this can inspire another young person out here to say, you know what, maybe I want to be a videographer. Maybe I'd like to be a sound mixer. Maybe I'd like to be a fine artist. Maybe I'd like to be an AI artist. Every artist who's with us, those blessings are being paid forward because the young people are reading every single thing we put out, and they're also embarking on art careers as well. So where we are next year, probably a lot bigger than where we are at the moment.
So it's wonderful because in leaving an impact, it's making a difference in the entire platform. These issues are very difficult to talk about, and however, we're having the conversation.